It was near the end of July, 2021. I had stumbled upon this horror game named Saiko no Sutoka, which did have plenty of YouTube coverage. At first glance, I thought it was going to be like another one of those yandere sim type games. As I started playing though, the more I changed my mind. It was version alpha 2.0 when I played, but it had so much to offer despite its flaws. The gameplay, the mechanics, the AI, the antagonist herself were all creepy and unique, but I mainly want to focus on the overall atmosphere of the map. I feel like that's what brings me back the most when I revisited the school map earlier. What I never knew is that the game would leave traces of memories behind, only for me to find them again in this moment. Something about the map makes it seem all dreamlike with the dark blue lighting and the empty halls and classrooms, all while the killer is stalking and actively chasing after you, begging you to stay. The overall atmosphere is something that'll stick with me for a while. It never ceases to make me feel uneasy and a bit anxious every time I try to boot up the game now. It's almost like a new experience every time, despite me knowing what's ahead and knowing every nook and cranny of the school. The earlier builds of the game features a much more different version of the school, and it feels even more dreamlike. Despite its lack of visual design, it's much more narrower and darker, but I'm more of a fan of the current map. In a way, exploring the map gives me an odd sensation. Even if my heart pounds every time I roam around the map out of tension and fear that I'll get caught, it gives me a sense of comfort. The darkness is something I always liked growing up, so it may be why I feel that way. However, there's still one thing I haven't covered yet. There is a mode in the game that's more so a precursor to the main event. In this case, you're playing as the main character's friend. In this scenario, it's late into the evening as the sun sets. The atmosphere suddenly shifts from being unnerving to isolating, to being peaceful and a bit more lively and inviting. It feels like it's more safer being here, like staying in school after hours for additional classes, or work as you're the last student leaving the building. Yangere mode, on the other hand, it goes deeper than that. Everything's pitch black, every texture's rotting, everything's twisted, and you can barely see anything. I'll be honest, the only thing that kills this immersion is the fact that the main antagonist is now a bunny girl for whatever reason, which adds nothing to the game other than fan service. What I still find creepy is that her eyes glow through the darkness, and she's always aggressive. Overall, this feels like a bad nightmare. You wouldn't want to live like this, believe me. Take this through the victim's perspective. Is this all a dream? Is this really real? You try closing your eyes, but it doesn't help. You suddenly realize that this is still reality, and you need to leave immediately before you meet your inevitable death, or something gruesomely worse. The question is, why is this so familiar to me? Around the time when I discovered Saiko no Sutoka, then I was into it from late July all the way to late August 2021. I didn't care about its fan base, I didn't care about its popularity, I just simply liked it because of how intriguing it was to me in terms of atmosphere and the AI behavior. That's why I still get fascinated by liminal spaces, and general dark areas whether they come from games or real-life locations. The topic of liminal spaces have been done to death by multiple people on YouTube, so I won't go into depth about it. I'm just simply expressing my own feelings about how I feel about these atmospheres, especially with this game in particular since it stands out the most to me. I actually got this idea by revisiting maps in Gmod, and I stumbled across this specific map in the workshop. When I came face to face with that game again after almost an entire year, immense nostalgia entered my mind, sending me to flashbacks. By that point, I knew that I needed to come back. I needed to know what is going on these days. From the looks of it, there are quite a few features that were added since the last time I played, but the main premise and feeling of the game and its art direction hasn't changed, and I'm glad. You may be wondering, why this specific indie game in particular? Why not choose other examples of school atmospheres? There's White Day, a labyrinth named school, something more two-dimensional like Corpse Party, or visual novels like When They Cry. And you would be right. Those examples also have pretty good settings when it comes to horror. There's another game I want to mention, but perhaps I'll save it for another topic. What I can say is that with Saiko no Sutoka in particular, I did have plenty of memories of me playing through it, even made a few contributions to the community, as rare as that sounds. I'm reliving those moments by playing again, just like how I remembered it. Alone at 3 or 4 in the morning, constantly feeling paranoid, feeling tense and alert, but I was oddly immersed as the blue lighting filled my room and beamed at my eyes. Sure, it may be common to feel all of that while you're being hunted in any game that's survival based, but to me, it felt different. That's all I can really say about the game. I can't think of anything else to describe my playthrough, or talk about anything else in particular that would be interesting. My mind's drawing blanks, so I'll leave it there. If there's something that I want to add on, then I'll make a separate video if I feel like it. I know I left a lot of details out and didn't make this video 20 minutes long or something, but that's only because I want you, the one who's watching, to try this game for yourself. There are a lot of endings and modes to go through, in which I didn't want to spoil. By any means, purchase the game on either itch.io or Steam, and see what you think. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you got something out of this. This is the first time I ever got to do anything video essay related in about 2 years, ever since I departed from content creation and into music. I really don't know how frequent this will be, as I still want to be known for my music and other creative works, but if there's anything interesting that I want to talk about, I'll dump it onto this channel. This is simply an idea I wanted to execute, as I have started to miss doing something like this. I have an idea on what the next video is going to be. If you recall hearing me earlier, even made a few contributions to the community, as rare as that sounds, then one of those contributions is a small fan-made ARG I created. What is it exactly? Don't worry, you'll know soon enough.